You are back inside the game, live on the National Soccer Network. Nate Wangler, Ryan Glinsky, another week here on NSN, getting ever so closer to the World Cup. Got a lot of stuff. Big show coming up for you guys today. A lot of different topics to get to. Games this past week. We'll talk about a lot of that. Arsenal choking away the championship final against PSG. However, they did celebrate their Premier League title with the parade, which is so bizarre that it came after that match. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. The USA looking like something brand new yesterday against Senegal. I don't think we've seen that from them in a long time. So that was very refreshing. But before we get to all that, Ryan, I wanted to work this in very quickly. The Fighting Macklin Celebrinis in Canada lost to Norway yesterday in the championship match in the men's worlds. And once again, Canada will not win a Stanley Cup this year.
Shocker.
This might be the worst sports run in the history of Canada. I think the last time those people had a smile on their face I know the Jays made a run to the World Series last year for Game 7. However, I think the last time they truly won anything was probably Kawhi, right? Kawhi in Toronto.
Yeah, 2019.
Like ever since he left Toronto, I don't think there's been anything to celebrate for Canada post-COVID.
And I don't even think there was a Canadian on that Raptors team. I think it was all Americans. I'm pretty sure. And at least the important ones were. At least the important
Right.
like Kawhi, DeRozan, all those guys.
Yep, and even their fearless leader, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, falling short of the NBA Finals as the Spurs march on to face off against the Knicks. So
that was a good game, though.
That's what
I
I'm
will
saying.
tell you that. That was actually a really good game
Very
7.
good game.
And there was, let's see here. 0 Canadian. So you had Cameroon, you had Lithuania, you had Congo, and then you had, I don't even know what country that is. And then you had Great Britain. You had Great Britain. And then So even when they win, it's dominated by all Americans, because like the most important ones obviously were Kawhi, he was American. Kyle Lowry, he was American. Fred VanVleet, he was American. Siakam was Cameroon. I don't know how like you say that. Lithuanian was Valanciunas.
No, you got it right.
Norman Powell was also American.
Yeah.
And they got Jeremy Lin there, Harvard dog.
It's tough, man. It's tough. You know, PK Subban is in the studio, and they're like bringing the Stanley Cup up to him. And first of all, he's retired, but he's like, I can't touch it. That's bad luck. I'm like, PK, like nobody from your country has touched that thing in 3 decades, anyways. So may as well just touch it. Maybe that'll break the curse. I get the whole like adage of you don't touch the cup if you before you win it, because that'll curse you. You're not playing anymore, big dog. You're not going to be back in the game, so may as well just cop a feel.
He's like, what if I'm a strength coach?
That's all. Yeah,
that's what he says. What if I'm a strength coach?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you familiar with
brutal run?
Are you familiar with not Bruno Mars? Are you familiar with Boyz II Men?
Yes.
Do you know the song "It's Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday"? Yeah, Fabian thinks that I have to play that because Arsenal lost. More on that later. We'll talk about that. Just saying. We were robbed. That's all I got to say. We were robbed. Sometimes I wish we had oil money. That's all I have to say. Sometimes I wish.
Hey, man,
That's my biggest thing. So I wish we had oil.
Is this going to be an Arsenal versus the refs thing? Is that the direction we're heading with?
No, it's more of Arsenal versus the world once we get to it, because there's a lot of annoying things that I've heard recently. So yeah, and there's certain things that, again, everyone thought blow out this, blow out that. Just saying, they scored because of a PK. So that's all I got to say. And Luis Enrique too, talking about how we got lucky. Dude, stop. You're just going to put me down. Okay, nope, stop. We got to stop. Stop, Ryan. Stop. We'll get to it later, because then I'll go down a rabbit hole. Talk about it later.
Oh man, let's get into some of the matches that we had this last weekend. I know you were back on the mic a few times. We had State Cup going on, and everything there, which is just we talked about it before we came on the show. From a scoreline perspective, the State Cup, I feel like, more resembles what we see like out of the major arena soccer league or the major indoor soccer league, because it can get crazy. But some of the matchups you had last weekend, or
Oh, the
this
ones.
last weekend, but also last week.
Oh, yeah, we'll go to the ones I did here in a second. I thought we were going. You said State Cup, so I thought we were going that way. No,
My
this
bad.
was
Okay. All
in
right.
this was in the United Women's Soccer. Flint City AFC taking on FC Pontiac. This was actually Pontiac's first game of the season. And I think Flint really could have won this game like 10-1, but they just could not find the back of the net to save their lives. In the beginning, like it was so many chances. They hit the post, they hit the crossbar, they did everything except find the back of the net in certain points. But Pontiac, they made it interesting towards the end. Like Flint City, like dominated this game right from the jump. Like it was, if you were to count possession, it was probably like 80-20, 85-15. Like Flint was super impressive. Just couldn't find the back of the net. But luckily, they were able to find the back of the net a couple times, get the 3 points. They have to keep pace with Midwest United, I believe, in the Great Lakes United Women's Soccer division, because Midwest is currently 3-0. Yeah, 3-0. Flint's now 2-0. That'll be a good matchup when those two get together. But yeah, no, Flint City, super impressed with their women's side this past weekend.
And they're always so good at like controlling possession and tempo and pace of play and everything else. It's just something that's like it's a Flint City specialty. And so I did Midwest United and DCFC and the USLW side this week. And, we obviously talked about, Flint City, but Detroit right now is atop the table in that league. And a lot of it because they have playmakers just like that. I mean, that's just a turnover to a one-on-one opportunity. They're able to convert it. Midwest did come back a little bit later in the 88th minute of that one. And the truth is that they controlled possession. They controlled opportunities. And that second half, it was a peppering of the goal from Midwest United. DCSE was able to hold up for a while, couldn't at the very end. That's what resulted in that 1-1 draw at the end. But this is a club in DCFC that is very defensive oriented, and you saw that from them in this match. So just frustrating for them that they couldn't finish out that 1-0 game. But for United, soccer is such a game of execution and timing. Like you can be almost good so many times throughout the course of a match and still scores 0 goals, and it won't matter for anything. If their timing was any better and their finishing was any better, this is a top team in the Great Lakes division in the USLW, without a doubt in my mind. But it has been a lack of consistency in that way, but just enough to get the draw. But like consecutive draws, that probably doesn't sit well in the stomach very much. But still, a fun match there. And shout out DCFC for sharing that goal highlight of Aaron Rasmussen on their Instagram. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, again, the Great Lakes division is always so good, and it's good to see clubs like Midwest and Detroit City just continue to grow. Speaking of Detroit City, they also were in the U19, U18 Premier Division in the State Cup. And Nate, this game finished 5-5. That's not a typo. It finished 5-5. Went
PSG?
to Pens. Downriver, Detroit City FC did win on Pens against Saline. And even Saline was up 3-0, I believe. Yeah, 3-0. And Detroit City FC storms back to win it. And Nate, I've been a part of these early morning kickoffs in Saginaw. Like weird stuff happens, man. Like weird stuff in terms of the amount of goals that get scored. I've been a part of like a 6-goal game. I've been a part of some really high scoring games. Also been a part of some really low scoring games. But weird stuff happens on these fields in the morning in Saginaw. And for some reason, 10 goals were put past in this game. And eventually Detroit City wins it on PKs. But it's just crazy. And my coach used to tell us, he goes, these morning games aren't about the best team. It's about who's the most awake. And maybe Saline, just based on the highlights and the scoreline, did not do this game personally, but based on the scoreline and some of the early highlights, looked like Saline was the most awake team. And then eventually DCFC woke up and just started creating a lot of havoc. But no, just State Cup all weekend long was phenomenal on the boys and girls side.
I was just about to say, it might just be a product of the fact that everyone hasn't woken up yet, so maybe everyone's willing to take a few more risks, and they're not really thinking as clearly. Also, I'm sure that'll probably wake you up once you give up 3 early goals, and now you're, way behind the 8 ball 3-0. But no, that's yeah, you got that morning dew on the grass. It's a little chilly outside. It's the morning games are always a little bit different, but yeah, no, what scenes? 5-5. Goodness gracious. That's a match right there. But no, DCFC is just fun to watch them play. So that field looks nice though. I mean, the actual
they're very
facility
nice
looks
fields.
pretty
Like
damn
at
nice.
if you ever get there, the complex is really nice. And the worst
Not
part
gonna
is
lie, if you soar one, you might hit a car that's passing by though. So that's you might
you
just
could
ping
depends
ping an
what field.
Escalade
I
that's
mean,
passing.
there's like 4 fields that are right by the road, and then it gets.
Yeah.
And you're also like some of the fields are also like right by a neighborhood too, so you could send it in someone's backyard. No, it's a really nice complex, really nice grass fields. Drained well that's an underrated thing with grass and rain and all that
Oh,
stuff. But
very much. Yeah.
yeah, no, it was a phenomenal complex. They have over in Saginaw, and then obviously if you got the chance to watch these games this past weekend. But yeah, no, congratulations to all the teams that won state cups this past weekend. To every single boy and girl that have lifted the trophy. I can't say I have. I've only made it to the quarterfinals, but yeah, no, super exciting stuff for soccer. Oh gosh, I didn't even see the goals, to be honest. That's a really nice finish. That's a really nice finish. I didn't even see these goals beforehand, but yeah, no, good stuff from everyone.
Yeah. And shout out everybody, obviously, at the USLW and the USL too. Love doing your guys' games every single week. Midwest, I think they have a pretty long road stretch coming up, so we'll see how many we got for them. But keep bringing you games
my
all summer
Sporting
long.
Jacks
So.
team gets into full effect now. This upcoming week. So excited to see how they look.
All right, okay. So you're moving down to Florida then, is what I'm
Pretty much
collecting
pretty
here
much.
when they're okay. All right, when they fall in love with Ryan. But let's take a break here really quick. Coming up next, let's get into the U.S. men's national team. Their performance yesterday against Senegal, beating them 3-2. I know I had a really happy moment on social media and recapping that one. I know it's just a friendly, I get it, but it's probably the best we've seen them in some time. So it's okay to acknowledge that. But first, FC Bayern Summer Soccer Camps are a proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network, fostering football excellence across North America. Open to boys and girls of all skill levels, FC Bayern Camps deliver elite training inspired by FC Bayern Munich's world-class philosophy. Select your city and start a promising soccer path. Right now, save $30 on registration by using promo code BayernNSN30. Again, that's BayernNSN30, or scan the QR code on your screen. Learn more at FCBayernYouth.com.
So the dream behind Irene's was simply to be a place where the community could come and gather. This is my hometown, we're raising our family here, and we just want to be a space where people can come together as a community and share a great meal. We've got golf simulators, we got pinball, live music, trivia nights, but we also have fresh, always homemade, locally sourced food, and we serve it with a sense of Gemütlichkeit. This is a German word that conveys a sense of warmth and coziness and belonging. We're excited to show off how we're growing and that this is the place to be.
And we're excited to have you back inside the game here on the National Soccer Network. Episode 296 here today. We will hit 500 by the end of the week. Excuse me, 300. That is. That's how math works. We got 4
was like,
more
huh?
episodes to get there.
I'm like, did we just
That's
skip?
not- that's-
Are we just skipping the numbers? We should just start
That's
putting up
not-
random numbers one day. Just
There you go.
776.
Just go
I
back
don't
to
know.
episode 1. Just tell JT, hey, we're just starting over on this one. We're just gonna go back to the pilot and do our own thing. So thanks. just took all. Anyways, go ahead.
So there was a funny comment coming in from Fabian. Said Brazil got scored on by Panama. Brazil sucks and they aren't going anywhere. Panama is not doing anything. I don't know if you saw, Nate, but post game, all the Panama players. Again, I was trying to think like what that you say, like American, Mexican, I was like,
Panamanian.
Panamanian. Thank you.
Panamanian.
And
Yeah.
they
Yep.
all took photos with Neymar post game. Neymar didn't even play. Like they're like, that's just weird. That's just weird to me, man. That's just, I don't know. It's just weird. I think it's weird behavior. Like
Hey,
it was the
man.
same thing as like the Dream Team back in the day, where it was like they're just taking photos mid game with them. I'm like, aren't you guys competing against them?
It is weird. I don't think it takes away from the competitive spirit and wanting to beat them. But
Sure.
I think when you grow up idolizing a player, I mean, when you get to play against them or you get to share the pitch with them, that's the first thing I would want to do is get a picture. Like I understand it, I get it, but I also think Panama realizes, you know, they have a certain level of respect. And that's why I said, like, it's weird when you hate on Neymar the way that certain people do. Maybe he did not fulfill your perfect idealized vision of what he could be, but he still made a massive impact on the game, and that's why you're going to see players like that.
I don't
be
know. I
like,
just
"Hey,
think it's
let's,
weird.
you
I
know,
just think it's weird. That's all.
snap a
That's,
picture." It is a little weird.
It's
Yeah,
like
you're
Shohei
definitely-
Ohtani ends up
definitely got a
playing in
point.
Japan, and like all the Japanese players
Yeah.
mid game. Hey Shohei, the catcher
Yeah.
pulls out a phone. Hey Shohei, what's up, man? Let's get a
Yeah,
selfie real quick.
exactly.
Like, I don't know. I just think it's weird. That's all.
It is true. Some people need to be, you know, the opposite of that in order to psych themselves up. But anyways, let's get into the U.S. men's national team performance yesterday. 3-2 the final. The U.S. gets it done against Senegal. Christian Pulisic scoring, Flo Balogun scoring in that matchup. It seems like Captain America is back to being Captain America. But I'm going to open up the floor to you, Ryan, since I know you watched the match yesterday. Obviously, I didn't
Watch
get to watch
party.
it. I was he was doing the watch party. Yes, I was catching it little by little as my minor league game was going. I didn't get all of it, but I'll kind of allow you the chance to just tell the people what you thought about what you saw yesterday. I mean, from what I did see in the recaps, it's the best we've looked in years, my friend. So, but what were your takeaways from yesterday?
I wouldn't go that far. Best we've seen in
Really?
years. No, because there's a couple things I got to get into. Which, by the way, the first thing,
Sorry, I'm
appreciate all
drinking
you,
the Kool-Aid right now.
appreciate all you guys for hopping in the live streams yesterday. I think we did over 2,000 on what is it, TikTok yesterday in terms of the views. And then we did I think just below 900 in terms of YouTube, and we didn't really market it either. So really appreciate all you guys in here. Pulisic with no goal in 6 months. In a Heath Ledger Joker smirk. That's funny. Fabian, no, not years. That's not the best we've looked in years. But there's a couple things. Again, the result doesn't matter to me. It doesn't mean anything at all. The result against Germany does not mean anything. There were certain things that I just needed to see. One, and it's what I said in the last window of how bad it was. I think it was just Pochettino just being like, well, what does 4 at the back look like? And yesterday we went to 3 at the back without our best center back. And immediately I go, okay, that's exactly what I thought. That's just what I needed to see, Pochettino. Honestly, regardless of the result, if I just saw 3 at the back and 2 wingbacks, I would have been like this. All right, we're good. We're good. That's all I needed to see. And that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I wanted to see that, and I wanted to see Christian Pulisic. That's all I wanted to see. Those were the 2 things. Pulisic, how would you look in this game? How would you fare in this one? I know all the stuff that's been going on, and I don't think Senegal was ready, to be honest with you, Nate. I don't think they were ready in the first 20 minutes. I think personally they didn't expect the U.S. to jump out of the gate right away, and they did that. And the USA, They jump out of the gate. They get the goal from Des. Pulisic with the assist, which I, by the way, really liked how far they were getting up the field. Robinson and Des were getting up the field. I think that is an underrated part of the game because then you're able to bring in Pulisic and who was the other starting winger? Reyna. They were able to go inside a little bit more. Whatever. I don't want to get too tactical boring here, but Pulisic gets a goal. He needed that. We needed that because if Pulisic, I said it on the live stream. Pulisic is a Pochettino will have a heart attack by all the yelling he did. Yeah, he was kind of mad. We should have had a fourth goal, by the way. I don't know how in the world they got called back for a foul. I'll tell you that. But Pulisic's an emotional player. Pulisic, if things aren't going right, like he's the lowest of the lows and he's got the highest of the highs. It's almost like Javi Baez in a way at certain aspects. It's the highs of the highs, lowest of the lows. And when he's at the highest of highs, Pulisic's unplayable at times. Like no one can defend this guy. And then you get to the lowest of the lows, and it's like, oh, Jesus God, what are we doing here? Why are we chasing a slider away from the zone like a foot? Why are we doing that? Pulisic, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But he gets a goal, and you could tell in his celebration, in his face, what it meant for him to score that goal. It's been since December 16th or 27th, 19th, whatever day it was. And I was just so happy to see Pulisic grab a goal. I think a lot of weight has now been lifted off of his shoulders, and this is the best time to score a goal. Get it in the tune-ups because, again, I don't know how much he'll play. I don't know who's going to play in this next game against Germany on Saturday, but that was massive. That was massive for his confidence. And then the other side, Flo Balogun gets a goal as well. So the players that got the goals were the players you would want to score goals because you want to get their confidence going in at the right time. It's all about momentum, I think, in this World Cup when it comes to the USA, if they're going to make any noise. I think it's all about momentum. There's certain aspects that I didn't really like of the game, but for the most part, I was happy with what I needed to see. I just needed going into the game what Christian Pulisic would look like and if we had three at the back. And I saw both of those things. I was really happy with what I saw yesterday, and now I know who two of the starting center backs will be in the back three, which is Tim Ream and Mark McKenzie, because, God, Miles Robinson sucked yesterday. How about, Dave, how about Celtic, Scottish Premiership champion Austin Trusty out there? He was pretty good, Dave. I won't lie that. He was pretty good. That goal would have stood if it was Celtic. Yeah, no, that was weird, man. Again, I didn't have the commentary on because, I'm doing a watch thing, so I can't really have the commentary on. But, yeah, no, it looked suspect. I didn't really know what the call was out there. Fabian, if you had Diego Luna playing and bleeding, it would have been 8-2 with Diego Luna scoring 5 goals. More on that situation later because, Zendejas and Roldan did absolutely nothing in that game. But no, I was overall happy with what I saw yesterday. It doesn't really – it kind of helps my optimism a little bit. But, again, no, I just don't think Senegal was ready at the beginning.
And that is when we talk about, and I agree, I thought the formation was great. I thought their execution was good. The 2 goals for Senegal really were as a result of just bad positioning and a bad giveaway further upfield, which led to a counter opportunity. Like, we got to get away from a lot of that. We got to clean that stuff up. Obviously, it was not the flawless execution that obviously you would love to see. It's not like we shut them out 3-0, but I'll say this. This is a U.S. men's national team that if they are going to beat some of the best sides in this tournament, in this World Cup, it may have to look like the way that it looked yesterday, which is we kind of surprise and shock the hell out of teams. We have to be able to sneak up on you. And I think with how quickly we played and how fast we played to begin that match yesterday, that's exactly what happened. I don't think Senegal expected that from us. And what was so inviting was to really see the chemistry in the buildup. Pepe was great. Some of the touches that Pepe had were outstanding, especially in that first goal. He was the first one that kind of set all that up. Pepe looked unbelievable. Obviously, Christian Pulisic, we'll talk about him. I want to talk kind of in length about him, but he was magnificent. Flo Balogun, if we're bringing Flo off the bench, that's a pretty good. I don't think he'll be off the bench. Have. I know, but I'm just saying, like that's a pretty good depth piece to have if you're the U.S. men's national team. But when it comes to Christian Pulisic specifically, we were so ready during last summer to essentially strip him of the Captain America tag. Like, the way that the media came down on top of Christian Pulisic, and I've seen it before, like someone that goes from hero to zero, whether that's in an organization or with a team, or in this case, with a country. Because when he took that time off during the Gold Cup and he didn't want to play, you know, we kind of went after him. Landon Donovan went after him. We went after him on our show.
Landon
The
Donovan
media
goes
in
after
general
everyone.
went after him. Yeah. And while I know we want to talk about how Christian Pulisic is sensitive, which I do think he can be, I think maybe he was a little justified in feeling attacked by the media. But if that was enough to get him back to being Christian Pulisic like he was yesterday, then so be it. Because that was the Captain America that we've been wanting to see for the longest time, but simply haven't seen. And yes, I know that's the first time he scored since 2015 with AC Milan, but that was the type of player that we have gotten used to seeing and loving, and the way that he controlled the field and the emotional investment. You know, it just seemed like he finally found himself again. And you hope that this isn't like he finds it today and then loses it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe, if anything, if that criticism was enough to push Christian Pulisic to a point to where he's playing with almost like a, for lack of better terms, an FU attitude, watch how this team responds. Everybody talks about, Tim Ream being the captain and, he's nearly 40 and his legs can't hold up. I get it. But the captain's badge is a little bit different, because to be a captain, you have to do all the things, right? You have to be a leader in the dressing room. You have to be a vocal leader. You have to be an organizer, right? Someone who is that old and has been around for that long understands all of those things. But when it comes to on the pitch and how this team plays and how they succeed, Christian Pulisic sets the standard. He sets the bar for where this team can go and what they can do and who they can beat. And his chemistry yesterday with the players around him, how emotional he was. You could tell the release on his face after scoring that goal, but just assisting in one as well, and really kind of overwhelming the Senegalese early into that match. If we get that version of Christian Pulisic, and it felt like just for one match, it was like a flash in the pan, we saw it again. Like, it was like nostalgia. If we get more of that going into the World Cup, I'm no longer uncomfortable saying quarterfinals or, I don't know. Like, we got something serious on our hands. Now, again, mistakes, other things, it's easy to use recency bias and be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. But Captain America finally returned yesterday. I just hope he's here to stay. That's all I hope for.
I think I know you said best we've looked in years and all that. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid end of this, because this game does not matter really at all. And I saw the things I needed to see. But it was good to see them, based on last window. Again, they were set up poorly, and I think that was on purpose. But no, they played well yesterday. Not going to put too much stock into it. Great to see. There's certain players like Roldan. Still, I don't understand everything, and I don't know what he's doing certain times. Like, he just looked awful yesterday for him.
Yeah.
Miles Robinson looked poor. Again, I want to see what it looks like against Germany on Saturday. Again, I would rather see the full starting 11 play on Saturday compared to yesterday, where I know that wasn't the case yesterday, because I think McKennie came off the bench in the second half and stuff like that. Zendejas probably should have had a goal, but just didn't put it well. He was one-on-one with the keeper. Didn't finish it well. But no, I was just really impressed with everything they saw yesterday. This doesn't really change anything for me, I guess. Like, I'm not super optimistic. And if Pulisic, again, I don't think Pulisic, like, if he's in form, I don't see it like all of a sudden we're going to make a semifinal. No, like, now I feel more confident in going and winning a couple knockout games. That's really about it. And I think still the ceiling is the quarterfinal, like, no matter what. But Pulisic, happy with it. I just hope that he can continue with it. I hope the whole team can continue with it. But yeah, no, I'm pumping the brakes and all this stuff because again, I've seen this team play in 1, 2, 3 World Cups already, and it usually ends in disappointment. So yeah, no, I'm not getting my
Come on,
expectations. I'm taking the
It's
Nate.
just
I'm taking
one.
the Nate Wangler approach, the glass half empty approach. So never be disappointed.
Man. See, you always take the worst times to take that approach, though. You know what I mean? Like it's okay. You got to celebrate the win. I know it's just a friendly. I get it. Like I even said it in the video yesterday. It doesn't mean anything, but like I mean,
No, it was a good performance, though. We can say that
That's what
it
I'm
was
saying.
a good
Okay,
performance.
all right. We
The
can
only
meet in the
thing,
middle on that.
the only thing that's kind of holding me back is they were not. I just didn't think Senegal was ready to play. That's the only thing. Again, maybe they come across a team. Oh, I found this funny yesterday. When they started the game, they showed like the aerial shot, and like everyone's sitting in a section of the stadium, but it's like kind of like patched or whatever. Then all of a sudden, we get to like 20 minutes into the game. All of a sudden, the bench side of the second pole is fully empty, and then like the side where you can see the camera has all the fans. So I thought that was kind of interesting yesterday, just from a broadcast standpoint. A couple comments coming in. Diego Luna was in 3 commercials yesterday during the game. Yes, Diego Luna was in a lot of the commercials. Tell Nate not to worry. My son will be Team USA captain in 2 to 3 World Cups from now.
Yeah,
all right.
let's go.
We hope. Only thing Pulisic knows how to eat is chocolate from the Hershey Manufacturing Company and ride a horse buggy. I guess, if I was from Hershey, Pennsylvania, I'd probably eat a lot of chocolate as well. Like, that's got to be like a religion over there. Will Pulisic be equivalent to Donovan or Ryan's favorite player? I don't know. Who is my favorite player? My favorite players aren't attackers. They're typically CDMs.
Are you a Clint Dempsey guy? Are you a Clint Dempsey guy?
I like Dempsey a lot. I did like Dempsey because Dempsey didn't take crap from anyone, just went out there and balled. I mean, the Tottenham thing kind of hurts him, I won't lie. But in terms of the USA, my favorite player is probably Clint Dempsey. No. I'm a Tyler Adams guy, actually. That's probably my favorite player. When it's all said and done, it's probably going to be Tyler Adams because I like Tyler. Tyler Adams has like the Clint Dempsey mentality, but he does it in my position as well. And he also locked up Erling Haaland in the Bournemouth Man City game that ultimately won us the league. So yeah, no, I would take Tyler
I will
Adams.
say this. Pulisic has a long way to go in order to pass the likes of Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan, who are tied at 57 for the most goals in U.S. men's national team history. Obviously, Donovan has the most caps at 157, but Pulisic has 33 goals now. So he's still got 24 to go to tie and 25 to go if he wants to have the most of all time. So it's always an interesting conversation talking about Pulisic because it's like the best individual talent that the U.S. has ever produced. Yes, I would argue certainly. Is he the best U.S. men's national team player of all time? No, not yet. And you can't say that. So that's where it's,
Let's add another place where Fabian has lived in his life. I used to live in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, 30 minutes away from Hershey. We played against them in soccer, LOL. So this guy's been, where did he live? Sault Ste. Marie, lived in now Puerto Rico, Pennsylvania.
Okay, so he's definitely government. He's definitely government, whether it's CIA, FBI, CIS. I don't know, any one of them. So.
This guy's been all over the place. This guy has lived in more places than I probably visited in my life.
He's hacked all of our social media accounts already. All of our information is his.
We're cooked.
So, yeah, we're done. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side, let's talk about your Arsenal boys. Rough way to go, but they did celebrate the parade. They did get the Premier League. So again, I guess all kind of comes out in the wash at the end of the day. But you think that was stolen away from them. Let's talk more about that on the other side here on Inside the Game.
Experience the thrill of the game like never before with NSN's Game Rewind. Dive into full match commentaries enhanced with cutting-edge dynamic graphics, letting you relive the highs and lows of your favorite matches in astonishing detail. Whether it's a championship win or a legendary play, NSN Game Rewind bridges the past and future with a broadcast experience designed to captivate. Call 586-304-4405 and start watching today.
Back live inside the Game here on the National Soccer Network, transitioning into the international game as the leagues wrap up around the world here ahead of the World Cup. Arsenal, PSG, in the Champions League final went to PKs, which, first of all, before I know you want to talk about how this one was stolen away from Arsenal, I think it's a stupid way to end things. Like, it would almost be like in Game 7 of the World Series having like an automatic runner on second base in like the 10th inning. You know what I mean? How they do like the extra inning rules now in baseball.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the equivalent.
No, it's
of
not a stupid
having
way.
this one.
It,
really,
dude.
I don't think
the last 10 minutes of the game, no one wanted to run. Like they're dog tired. Come on, it's gonna be
I guess.
I was literally talking about this earlier this morning. Because so when I went to go put once I came back into the vMix, I didn't turn the clock off of the on the what is it? On the Uno overlay. So it was like in the 932nd minute when I got here this morning. I was like, that technically has happened before, I think, or not happened, but there was like back in the day, like a national championship game was like 8 overtimes or something. Like they did not go to a PK shootout, and it was like they said like for 4 overtimes, everyone was just like standing around. No, it's a horrible. You've got to do it because soccer, you're traveling miles and miles and miles. There's no timeouts. There's no like you get the little break in between, but like no, you got to go to a PK shootout. It's not stupid. I don't think people realize that, and it mainly comes from Americans who say the PK shootouts are dumb because like guys, there aren't stoppages. We don't have 5-minute commercials every 2 minutes like it does in college football or NFL games. Like, there's a lot that goes on.
A shootout. Yeah, you do go into a shootout in hockey too. I mean, no,
you don't. You just go into. You just continue playing in the overtimes. You don't go to in playoffs.
Yeah, in the regular season, you do.
Yeah, but you don't go to a shootout in the playoffs.
Not in the playoffs. So I mean, I don't.
I think you should.
I don't know.
I think you should.
But
no, it just gets horrible to watch because they're all. Then you're gonna just have people dropping like flies. So and everyone emptied their benches anyway. So you have to do it that way or else it's gonna get horrible. Actually hear about the players that Indiana soccer team talk about that national championship game. It was horrible after like the second or third overtime. It was like let's just boot the ball up and see what happens.
But let's get into this. They were robbed of the Champions League. I know you put a video out about this the other day, but what do you mean by they were robbed?
Just watch the Madueke penalty. So that's all I got to say. I'm sorry. And people are trying to break it down. Who initiates who? He was taken down in the box. It's clear as day penalty. I get it. It's PSG. Everyone wants to see PSG. They have all this great attack and all this and all that every time. Kai Havertz literally got an arm across the throat. For some reason, whenever Havertz gets like throat punched, nothing ever happens. Even the Wolves player, I think 2 years ago, literally got choked out on the field. And the player's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Bro. Just doesn't get that. And then every time like every time there was like we'd breathe on Vitinha or João Neves or anyone, it was foul, nope, call it back. And when I heard Clyde Tilsdale say this referee has not been selected for the World Cup, I went like this. I said there's going to be some stupid calls in this game because this guy was not brought to the World Cup. He's going to do something stupid then. Because if we don't have a World Cup referee out there, if he was not selected for the World Cup, then this guy clearly is not good at his job. And clearly Saturday, he was not good at his job. It was horrendous. Every time a PSG player was touched, foul. I've never seen in my life a half end on a corner kick. Never have I ever seen a team go to the corner and the referee goes, half's done. You let it play out, and I don't want to hear about Saka taking too long to take the corner. It took him 13 seconds to get lined up. Also, Fabian Ruiz took the ball and just threw it, and they're like, oh, that's completely fine. How many times I got to see a PSG player kick the ball away or throw the ball away at a stoppage, which is supposed to be a yellow card, but that didn't happen. Mosquera doesn't even get a warning on a throw-in. Oh, yellow card for that. But no, we'll have everyone else on PSG just not get a yellow card for time wasting. It was horrendous yesterday, and on Saturday, and that referee sucked. He was god awful. There's a reason why you weren't selected for the World Cup. There is a reason for that. And everyone's going to talk about, well, the Saga one wasn't a penalty. Based on every time I've seen a handball like that this year, was not given as a PK. Completely fine with it. I've seen Mbuemo play basketball in the box. I've seen that happen all the time. Actually, this ref might have actually been pretty good because he was consistently inconsistent. So that probably makes him a good referee. To be honest with you, I'm just saying. Benito in the chat, African champions, USA with a strong emoji. Technically, we didn't beat Morocco. Technically, we did not beat Morocco.
Yeah, we didn't beat Morocco, but yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't beat Morocco for the AFCON. So no, we can't say we're African champions. No, we can't say that at all.
That's funny.
But what was that? Oh. And then everyone's going to talk about the possession, and everyone's going to look. When you have the best attack in the world, like PSG did, we saw what they did against Bayern Munich. When you play man up, they play man up, and you allow them. You allow it to be a track meet. You allow that to happen. We know what happens. If Arsenal were to play that way, we would have lost probably 4-0, and everyone would have clowned, oh, you guys can't do anything in the final, which I probably would have been happy for us to lose like 4-0 in 90 minutes, because then I would have enjoyed like the next hour of my life and not, just be so stressed out. God, I will tell you where this loss ranks for me, Nate, because there's a couple good traumatic losses I've already experienced, and this ranks it in a certain way. But look, I don't know what you expected Arsenal to do in this game. I don't know why everyone else was surprised. Everyone thought blowout. Yet they played to their strengths. It's weird how sports work that way. Arteta's like, so they have one of the best attacks in the world. We have the best defense in the world. Yeah, let's play to our defensive strengths to this and eliminate everything and limit all these players. Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, and Doué did absolutely nothing in that game. They were ghosts. They did literally nothing. They did jack shit. They did nothing. Straight up. The three of them did nothing. And the only breakthrough PSG had was a PK, which they scored off a set piece. It's weird that PSG is able to play boring and they get off a set piece and they score a goal. And still, Gabriel and Saliba have yet to give up a UCL open play goal in 2 years. Weird how all that works. A couple of comments in Queso. Before the corner, Arsenal time wasted with 3 people going for a throw-in, so they wanted to have to end. They got their wish. You don't end it on a corner, my friend. Never seen that happen. If that happens to your team in that situation, you would have been all arms up in the air, Queso. Let's be real. Fabian, he was paid off by PSG. Oh, and if I got to hear one more time about Luis Enrique, they got lucky. They got lucky on that goal. Maybe don't tell your center back to smash it off the face of another Arsenal player and have no one behind him. Like that's the reason. Like your player just was dumb, and that didn't happen. But literally, and everyone's gonna talk about the possession in the passes that they completed. They did nothing with it. It's almost like you could have 500 yards of offense, and if you just go down in the red zone and kick field goals, and you have like 15 points. It doesn't mean anything. You've got to do something with it. They did legitimately nothing the entire game. PSG was so unimpressive. I don't understand why everyone thought this game was going to be a blowout. Because they got out-physicaled, they got out-toughed. The only thing that they got benefit for was the refs. That's literally it. They did nothing in that game. You could argue maybe Arsenal should have been bolder in that situation. I don't know what you would have wanted them to do in that situation. They would have lost 4-0. And any team, and any fan out there, any Premier League rival fan who just all of a sudden became PSG fan for the day, I don't know. Like, they beat the living crap out of Chelsea and Liverpool, yet Chelsea and Liverpool fans are like, oh, we love them. We love them. And the Chelsea admin account, let me tell you something. You guys spent $3 billion and you guys can't even qualify for Europe. I don't want to hear about this. Oh, they're only European trophies. Yeah, that was 10 years ago. You ran out of it now. Sorry. So annoying. Hated that.
So I was actually watching a video of the very end of it. It could have been worse, Ryan. It could have been like the people at this restaurant in Paris. It was an outdoor
thank you,
restaurant.
Fabian. Ryan, your dad was right. Your team played like the Catholic football team. They did. They were out physically them in every aspect. And then you had the 5-star attackers did nothing in that game because they were out physical. They didn't know what to do. It's exactly what happened yesterday. And then they went on PKs.
Yep.
Such a traumatic loss.
Yeah, when you get into those close matchups, though, man, sometimes it helps to not be the private school because then you got to have special players make special plays, to win that. So, and Arsenal wasn't special, Ryan. They weren't special yesterday. All right?
That loss, dude. You ever
But
see
is there any sort of reprieve with the fact that you won the Premier League? Like, I get it, you didn't win the double, all right? I understand it, but everyone can kind of. Yeah, people are going to take their opportunities to get their shots in, but at the end of the day, you still won the Prem. Like, you still took the Prem home. So, I don't know. It is weird having a parade after you lose a match. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I really hope that my dad's not in the chat. He says, your dad is knowledgeable. His head's going to get way too big. No, they had to do it that day because, obviously, the World Cup happening. You've got to allow that to happen. And then because if you're Arsenal, like, you have the Prem parade, you can't have we sold the Champions League. They win the Champions League. You can't have two separate parades, which, by the way, over 1 million people showed up to that parade yesterday. That was unbelievable. I can't believe I've never seen anything. I'm just curious what the Lions Super Bowl parade would look like. 75% possession. How can you let that happen? No ambition. Be real. Queso, if you allow to play man up against Dembele, Doué, and Kvaratskhelia, who did nothing all game, we lose that game probably 4-0. And that 75% possession, I could have played midfield in that game because guess what all I had to do? I had to be Vitinha and João Neves. Just pass it side to side. Side to side. Let's not have any ambition. You want to talk about ambition, Queso? PSG had zero ambition in that game. They were not creative at all. They were standing around and running around with their heads cut off. They did legitimately nothing offensively all game long. And Dembele's a Ballon d'Or candidate. Ballon d'Or Dembele. He did nothing. Did nothing in that game. Then he gets hurt. So he might not even play in the World Cup. No, he sucked. They all sucked. They did nothing in that game. But Dembele, he's so good. Kvaratskhelia did nothing. They did nothing. God. But no, I am actually pretty happy that we won the Prem still. I'm still happy about that. Still 22 years that happening. That was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. Ryan, you got to listen to your dad on football. I hope he likes the Miami Hurricanes. Well, back in the day when Catholics versus Convicts was a thing, because you said you're a part of Team Convicts, he was a Notre Dame guy because he went to Notre Dame High School. Then Brian Kelly showed up and he really hated Notre Dame. I don't know where he's at in his Notre Dame fandom at this point, so I don't really know. I just know he hated Notre Dame when Brian Kelly was the head coach. I like Miami, so if Michigan were not to win a national championship, I would want Miami to win it, just because I like the U documentary.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a very historical program, and that's great. I just don't like Miami because I don't think anyone in Miami is serious about anything. Like, especially when it comes to sports.
That's fair.
Like,
That's fair. That's a good point.
They're in Miami because they're like some big financial guru, or it's some girl off Instagram who has like 2 million followers.
It's fair.
I mean, it's like influencer heaven. Yeah, like they don't give a crap about any sports. They don't go to the Marlins games. They don't go to the Florida Panthers games until they're in the Stanley Cup. And then they care.
Yeah,
and then they're like, yeah, let's go to the parade and down. No, like you don't watch hockey. No, Miami makes me mad, man. I don't like Miami. Or Inter Miami is the only team I will give you an exception. I will give you an exception because they love Messi and they probably love soccer too because it's like Cuba on American soil. So I will give you soccer, but outside of that, no, they are not serious in Miami. So that's why I just kind of I hate it sometimes because they don't have any real fans. But anyways, go ahead.
Caden Vlogs beating PSG ain't for everyone. Aren't you a United fan? Like, how did you do in the Champions League this year? How did you guys? How many trophies did you guys win? Are you guys still holding that Bruno Fernandes? Oh, he has 21 assists. Which, by the way, that last one wasn't even an assist. It was an own goal. Shut up. No, it's annoying
the hype
because
guy behind your rants.
Huh?
I feel like I need to be like the hype guy behind your rants when you're like yelling at people. I just need to like say like. Drop in a word every now and again. So, anyways, go ahead. I know you're.
No, it was annoying. That whole game. Everyone's gonna say, "Well, Arsenal should have been bolder. Arsenal should have done this." And as Fabian said, Dembele, Vitinha did nothing. They did nothing all game. And it's weird when Arsenal have to rely on set pieces. It's, they're not creative enough. They have to rely on everything. PSG does it. All of a sudden, they're geniuses. They're the best team of all time. No one can stop them. They did nothing all game. They were not special in any way. But to your question, yes, I'm still happy that we won the Premier League trophy. Very happy about that. It was 22 years in the waiting. And if you really look at the last, I think, 10 years, there's only been 3 different Premier League champions, City, Liverpool, now Arsenal. So I'm happy to be a part of that conversation now, and I'm happy that we finally got across. But I'll say this. You know the LeBron James, Miami Heat, like where he's like dialed in meme? I think you can add the Declan Rice to that level because, and pretty much the all Arsenal players, because they were laughing, they were smirking after the game, like they were like, "Oh man, all hell about to go loose here this next couple of years." So I'm excited for what they're gonna do here in the future. And then if I got to hear someone talk about 2006, how we had 29% possession in that game. We had a red card against Prime Barca. I don't know what you wanted to do in that time either. Our goalie got sent off. And then because we're going to allow Ronaldinho and Eto'o and David Villa and Xavi Iniesta and all those guys to just run free on us. Yeah, let's just do that too. No, soccer fans are just dumb. They just don't want to see Arsenal succeed. They would much rather see, I said this time and time again, Caden would probably want to see this. Queso would probably want to see this. They would much rather see Arsenal lose than their own team win. And that's just sad, man. Like, get some help.
Yeah.
Like, if you're one of those fans, like, get some help out there, man. Like, you don't want to see your team win? Are you telling me? Are you telling me that we don't want to see them win? Barcola should have scored 2, and we are the only English team to knock out PSG in the UCL. So you guys probably won the UCL that year? Like, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm gathering here is Marcus Rashford's magical night in Paris. Like, you guys probably won the Champions League that year? No, you didn't do anything in the Champions League either. You've done legitimately nothing in the Champions League in 15 years. You've done nothing. Nada. You won't win another title in 22 years. I don't think that's accurate. All I'll say is, based on that parade yesterday, you could tell they were pissed off. You could tell, yeah, we got to celebrate, but it's like, there's something that's itching at them. There's something. And I know that I know who they're going to try and get this summer, and I'm excited. I know it took way too long, but I just had
feel like they're one key move away in the offseason to being like, the new Man City.
The
now, you got a long ways to go until you're there, but
the new Warriors, the new
standard,
we got KD, Curry, Klay Thompson,
exactly.
Draymond. Now we've seen someone kick people in the balls all the time, but we should be pretty good then.
Sometimes championship can send you over the top, so I feel like they're right kind of on the precipice of doing that. But let's talk about Barca Academy, and then we'll talk about some of the rules coming into the World Cup, some of the rule changes in the World
some of them
Cup.
are weird.
We'll mention that. Yeah, some of them are. Yeah, some of them
next
are very
year's Real
odd.
Madrid's turn.
The list that's in
Hell
front of me.
no, Real Madrid ain't winning nothing next year. Real Madrid's winning.
But Barca
winning
Barca
nothing.
Academy is a proud
Barca's
sponsor of the
winning it.
National Soccer Network. There you go. In the academy, the official academy of FC Barcelona in the United States, designed for boys and girls ages 6 to 18. Barca Academy camps follow and replicate the FC Barcelona game model. Same philosophy used by Barca's professional coaching staff. Right now, you can save $30 on registration by using promo code FCB30. Again, that's FCB30, or scan the QR code on your screen. Find a camp near you at fcbarcelona.us/camps.
In Barca camp, I sing my song Grown on and off of the field. Don't miss the time to register.
Sign up now for Barca camp.
inside the game here on the National Soccer Network. 296 here on NSN. We've had talking about the U.S. men's national team, Captain America being back. Ryan yelled at some people in the comment section who are getting on him about Arsenal, but then quickly pulled himself back in and went, but it's okay. We won the Prem. So that's okay.
That's exactly it.
So,
dude, this dude Fabian
Yeah,
trying
no.
to restart the Super League. That makes zero sense. He's like, I honestly wish the top 4 teams of the 5 major leagues play one full season to see who the top dog is. Yeah, we saw how that result could, or that proposal, and it was a horrible idea. So yeah, no, it is.
Let's have the best team in one sport play a completely different sport against another team. You know, like let's have
let's do that.
Arsenal play
let's
a
see,
basketball game against the Spurs
and
see how it goes. You know,
yeah, that'd be sweet. Have Victor Wembanyama in net. He's gonna save everything. Might hit his head a couple of times. But
Arsenal's just standing in the backcourt, just like with their hands up. You can't score if you can't get past us.
yeah, the tallest guy is like 6'4", so or 6'5", I
It's
think.
like 120 to 18 at the end. Or we'll have the Spurs go out and play Arsenal in a match. So, you know.
Yeah,
so
Stefan Castle with his
fun.
dumb hair walking around.
Yeah. Wemby gets slide tackled, falls
Just
like
gets
a
wiped
freaking
out.
stack of bricks.
Just cleat studs up straight to the back of Wemby, and
Oh.
Wemby just like collapses.
Yep.
Yeah, and then
Yep.
that'd be funny.
Yep. Or we have like the Seahawks, you know, play like a soccer match or whatever. All that might be dangerous.
We
for
got
the
Legion of
actual
Boom out
soccer
there,
players.
just hit sticking
Yeah.
everyone.
Guys, you got to get the ball. You can't go through their chest, okay?
See, you just see
Freaking
Cam
Bukayo
Chancellor
Saka's just like
just tackle in the midfield. It's Chancellor Richard Sherman and
Oh.
Earl Thomas and Bobby Wagner just. Guys, stop that. You got to Richard
Bukayo-
Sherman. Try me with a sorry midfielder like that. That's the result you're going to get.
Yeah. Bukayo Saka's just like bent in half after getting just lit
Well,
up.
Bukayo Saka is dead. All right.
Yes, he is deceased.
Yeah, Richard
They
Sherman.
actually need the stretcher this time.
Yeah, I was watching some Twitter video.
Oh.
There was some guy gets picked up his international game. Some trainer, because they had a golf cart out there and they put him in the stretcher and they brought him back. But the driver wasn't paying attention. He was like looking like this. And he,
Oh yeah, he didn't run into something?
yeah, he then ran into a player and almost hurt the player that wasn't injured.
Oh man, that's brutal. Let's get into some of the soccer law changes. I know we were on a few rabbit trails here as we cross into the 10 o'clock hour. But 5 different soccer law changes for the upcoming World Cup. We got them all laid out in front of us. Ryan, I'll let you kind of go through these and we can talk about them. But yeah, here they are, 5 different ones. Any one of these that kind of stands out to you that you think is maybe dumb or not needed?
Let's see here. The corners being checked by VAR are really dumb because of the timing. I think that's real. I think it's just stupid. I think the corners are dumb, to be honest with you, because then they're going to say, because they already said, like, it has to happen before the corner kick is taken. The check has to be, because there's going to be someone late in the game that's going to take a corner kick quickly, that's going to score a goal, and then it's going to get disallowed because it wasn't truly a corner, but it wasn't checked before the corner, and then it's going to be a whole mess. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a disaster. That's going to happen at some point. I'm just telling you right now. I also think the 5-second countdowns for throw-in and goal kicks are relatively dumb as well because at certain points, I don't think the player can get the ball to take in the goal kick or throw in properly in 5 seconds. I'm just saying, I don't think that's going to be really enforced. There is technically a limit on goalkeepers right now in like the last, 15 years on people doing that. But I don't see that happening either because that's not enforced. No tactical timeouts when a goalkeeper is hurt. So when the goalkeeper is hurt, the players can't go to the manager for a timeout. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. This one, I understand why that's done because of what the who was the guy that said that to Vinny, the comment to Vinny on Benfica. Can't think of his name. I know that was a big thing.
Yep.
That's a big thing. But I mean, what if a guy's going like this, barking some instructions to his teammate? Like, I don't know. I feel like that one's gonna be difficult to manage. Second yellows can be checked by VAR. I think yellow cards were checked by VAR. Period. I don't know whatever that is. But yeah, no, those are just the 5. I think there's a couple that are dumb. Queso, I agree. It's going to delay games if they are checking corners. Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think it just disrupts the flow. I'm fine with, again, it's clear and obvious errors. You can't really tell what's a clear and obvious error on a corner. Prestiani, thank you, Queso. Appreciate it. Hey, look at me and Queso and I becoming friends now after us hating each other for the first.
Isn't that how that goes? Yeah, that's
now we're friends. So no, it's I just look at it. I feel the game is going to slow down a little bit if you're going to make all these different checks and everything. But I also feel like we're going to come into a little bit of controversy in certain things, and I'm already ready for it. So.
You would think that a countdown in terms of you only have 5 seconds would actually help with pace of play, but I agree with you. I think it actually kills it because I think it creates sloppiness. And you're right, sometimes you can't. I think the only thing that they want to get away from is, some of the stall tactics, maybe like later on in games, which I mean are things that like we see a ton, but we see that all over the place. Like it's up to the referee to really be able to set the tone in that moment to make sure that the ball continues to go, but you're not going to be able to completely remove that. So I think it's a little tacky that they would expect you to get it. 5 seconds is quick too. Like, I don't think we think about how quick 5 seconds comes. Like, literally just, like, count it out in your head. Now picture receiving the ball, placing the ball, looking at who you have ahead of you, especially on these corners, right? Because you got to get everybody set up where you need them to be and releasing the ball all in 5 seconds. And so that's a little quick for me. The covering the mouth thing is also weird from what you said. I understand what was said in that moment wasn't great. And that's why you see in any sport, after a big moment, after a frustrating moment, players will cover their mouths to scream and yell. But you have to allow them that opportunity to do so because they also might be talking about something in the match or that they want to do or something that's like, either a switch defensively or something else. Or maybe they are frustrated, but they don't just want to, bark that out right in front of the TV screen. What I don't know. That's something that's being monitored. It just seems tacky to me. Like it seems like we're really reaching with telling players that you can't cover up your mouth. Obviously, don't say anything racist. That doesn't replace that. Like if you're going to say something racist, it's probably not going to stop you to be like, "Hey, don't cover up your mouth." Because you could have found a way. Yeah, I mean, you could go to wipe your face with your uniform and say something that like it's how do you plan on enforcing any of that?
I just think a lot of these laws are to like try to limit certain things. Like you said, time wasting. The Prestiani situation. Queso mentions the goalkeeper cramping at the end of the game is ridiculous. I would say yes, but again, I don't know. Maybe there is a player that is actually cramping. I don't know. Again, that's something that you've just got to monitor, I guess. Like cramping happens, and especially in the heat that these players are going to be playing in and all that stuff. So yeah, again, maybe there's something to be said about that. Again, that's up for you to decide whether or not. But no, when it comes to these laws, I think they're reaching a little too much to try to limit certain things. Look, I understand what they're trying to do, but like I just think it's going to create more harm than actual good because there's going to be certain controversial situations. And again, we're talking about a World Cup here, guys. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for some people. And, for some countries and some teams, this is their best shot ever of winning a World Cup, or at least making a run in a World Cup. Because, to be honest with you, there's probably only like 4 or 5 teams that will actually win this thing or that could win this thing. But for the most part, some of these countries are just hoping that they could get to the knockouts one time, or like they win a game, or they could score a goal or two in the World Cup. So, again, I just think it's really stupid. I think a lot of these things are dumb. But, that is... that's
and
that's
what they say about playing or messing around too much or trying to change a good thing too much can oftentimes result in something worse. And so, again, to go to these lengths, I understand what they're trying to do. And to be frank with you, the stalling thing in soccer, there's 2 main reasons why if people ever have an issue with the sport, it's 2 main things, right? Flopping, which it's not the only sport anymore. Truly, we've seen that
Shout out
infect
SGA.
the other sport. exactly. But number 2 on that list is also has to do with like those types of tactics, like the stalling and the holding up and those parts. Because I even saw that go against a USL 2 side recently in a game that I was doing. The goalkeeper wouldn't release the ball. He was just holding on to it for forever. So I believe they delivered a corner to the team that was like waiting for him
that
to release
can
the
happen.
ball.
It's
That's the first time I've ever seen that though, and I'm like, that's cool. Like I like that.
Like
'Cause
there's
he's just
yellow
sitting there like with his arms up.
Like there's yellow cards for like simulation, and the one that you just mentioned, those are technically rules, but they're never enforced. So it's they're there technically, but they're just never enforced. So I don't really know. Like,
so it's more on the referee to just like step up in that moment and be like, you gotta go.
Yeah, it depends on the referee, and every referee is different. It's not like it's not like clear set in stone like American sports where like everyone's gonna call it this way. No, I guess basketball and football might be a little different depending on like pass interferences and stuff. But for the most part, it's pretty consistent. But when it comes to soccer, it's consistently inconsistent in terms of the refereeing decisions, and it's up to the ref's discretion. So I don't really know what's gonna happen. All I know is that these law changes are just gonna, it's gonna create more harm. That's all I gotta say because there's gonna be some nation that gets knocked out in the knockouts because of one of these things, and it's gonna be dumb. It'll be dumb.
Certainly so. Let's take one more break when we come back. Let's get into the all sports content here today on the National Soccer Network, talking a little bit about Knicks and Spurs in the NBA Finals. What are the top storylines? What are we looking at the most in terms of that matchup? Also, it's been a wild ride in the college baseball playoffs. Baseball is the most on any given day sport that there is. I know our good friend Ryan Glinsky is not much of a baseball guy, but we'll at least touch on that here coming up. Also, Jalen Duren and everything going on with the Pistons. Do we allow him to maybe shop free agency? It's a lot of money offering to a guy who has cement feet and has not proven himself in the playoffs. I know you talked about that on the Sports Nation page, Ryan. Let's get into all that on the other side. Man City Soccer Camps, though, a proud sponsor of the National Soccer Network, bringing world-class training inspired by Man City's global football philosophy to players across the United States. Open to boys and girls of all skill levels, these camps focus on technical development, decision-making, and playing the game the City way. Right now, you can save $30 on registration by using promo code MCNSN30. Again, that's MCNSN30, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. Find a camp near you at usacamps.mancity.com.
Welcome back to Inside the Game 296.
Man, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've left it on mute. Has it been a minute? All right, get out.
Still did it though.
We have the days since Nate has left his microphone muted. Coming back from break, we were I don't know, had about a month. Now we got to cross it off, start all over again.
Yeah.
So
0 days since an
break.
accident.
Tough break for the boys today. Let's get into the Pistons conversation here in the all sports section. Admittedly, Ryan, sometimes when I'm scrolling through or I just momentarily check social media, I will stumble across one of your videos. And every now and again, I'll sit there and watch it, and every now and again I'll see your face and I'll see the little description, right on the front of it, and I'm like, okay, I know where he's going with this. On to the next one. I saw your video.
You even like the videos?
I'm sorry. I didn't like that one. I think I forgot to. Sorry.
Wow.
But I knew we were going to talk about it.
Sometimes I see your broadcasting videos, and I'm like, oh, I already saw this, but I'll put a like, and I just scroll.
All right. You're right. I was a bad friend. I'm sorry. Okay. From the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. But I might agree with some of the points you made in the video, but you think that the Pistons should shop Jalen Duren a little bit, maybe allow him to test free agency, see what his market value is, because I think that's the only way you're going to get a reasonable rate for the guy is if he goes out there and discovers that no one else is going to pay him, I'm sure, the amount that he wants in that Supermax contract.
No, there's someone stupid. Chandler Parsons is getting like $32 million a year to do nothing.
There might be. They might go to
NBA.
DC.
They will give stupid money to mid players. So yes, there's going to be someone out there look, the thing with Duren, it's an interesting situation. The Jalen Duren situation's interesting. Why? Because do you go off of the potential? All right, because he's 22, freak athlete, but when it comes to the playoffs, that's the only thing that matters. Can he develop anything offensively? And my first instinct is no, because he's been in the league for 4 years already. And I would say no, because he doesn't have a post game. Like if Duren had if he had an Adai Mara post game, I would say give him money because of that aspect already. Because you have to respect that as a defense. You have to respect he's able to do that. But most of his game is pick and rolls. He's running towards the basket, dunk, putbacks, lobs. I get that. That's a part of the game, and you have to have that. Yes, right. Caden. Yes, Man City is the king, or Man City are the kings of Manchester. Yes, they are. Just putting it out there. But when you look at it, that doesn't really translate in the playoffs. And what's the whole goal is to win championships. I get it. You need a player like that, but not a player of 30, 35, 40 million, $50 million a year. That's not what I'm after. I don't want 80 million, 90 million, whatever the number is, tied up into two guys in our starting five that can't shoot. I can't have that. That's not a recipe for success. So what I'm thinking is, what do they do here? I think if you're the Pistons, because there's a big gap right now. There's reportedly a massive gap between the two parties in negotiations. So what I think you do is you tell Jalen Duren, again, this whole situation reminds me of the DeAndre Ayton situation with the Suns.
Yep.
Just let him figure it out. If there is a team out there that does not want to give you what you're asking, Detroit then can tell you, no one's going to give you this. We're not giving you it. We will give you this. And you put it across the table, and he's going to most likely accept it because, I wouldn't want to relocate teams. You're on a pretty decent team, playoffs, Cade, whatever. So I wouldn't do that. But let him figure it out. If there's a team willing to give him $45 million, because obviously the Pistons will give him more money based on just like the restricted free agency and matching stuff and Supermax eligible players. Like the Pistons are obviously the team that can give him the most money. But if there is a team out there that wants to give him $50 million plus or $45 million plus, you let them. Because I look at DeAndre Ayton, it's kind of similar games, I would say, not a post game, just kind of a freak athlete, dunk, putbacks, whatever. And the Pacers, I think, gave 133 for 4, I think is what the Pacers, and then the Suns obviously matched it. And then not even a year later, they trade DeAndre Ayton. So, like, that's what I'm looking at in terms of Jalen Duren, because he can't shoot, he can't move, as you mentioned, cement feet, he can't move. So, I just would allow him to explore the open market and just see what happens.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of, there are certain items that are exactly the same in terms of how useful they are. It's just one simply is more expensive just because of the brand that it is.
One's
we see this-
Chips Ahoy and one's got the Kroger
Yeah,
branding on it.
exactly. Yeah. You got Meyer brand, but then you got the actual branded cereal, right? Like my mom was notorious for always getting the Meyer brand stuff. Why? Because it was $2 less than the other stuff. And to be frank with you, at that point in my life, I didn't really understand it. Now I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll buy something for $2 less just so I have an extra $2. Like, it adds up over time. You're probably wondering, where the hell is he going with this? I
say
have a point
Andre
with all
Drummond,
of
bring
this.
him back.
Yes. What he is, Jalen Duren, is literally Andre Drummond, but just like the slightly better brand of Andre Drummond. It's the same exact thing. It's just a little bit better. And to your point, yes, absolutely you need what Jalen Duren can provide. You need a guy who can get boards and block shots and rebounds and
I got Paul
lead
Reed for
teams
that.
in transition. Right. But that is something that you can fill in free agency. And for a price that is half of what you would be dropping on a super max for a guy who disappeared in the postseason, absolutely disappeared in Jalen Duren. And obviously that's the biggest problem, but I don't know, go get Rui Hachimura. He is a free agent. I don't know who else would be. Mitchell Robinson is a free agent. Go get him. I mean, the type of productivity you can expect from Jalen Duren and the things that he does, and yeah, Paul Reed too, but that's something you can easily pick up in free agency. Where I want this big money to be spent for the Pistons is in a move for Kyrie or a move for Kawhi Leonard or someone who can be that dynamic scorer. Cade needs a number 2. It's as simple as it gets. It is really that simple. You move off of Duren. I like signing Asar Thompson. I really do. I think he is a freak defensive player.
Good
I
value
think he
for
is
him,
a nightmare. That's what I'm saying. I think he is a nightmare for guys on the offensive side. No, mind you, can he shoot? No, but if you were to ask me, hey, you're building a dynasty. Do you want Tony Allen on your team? Yes, please give me Tony Allen. He's not the greatest scorer of all time, but my God, was he a problem defensively. But move off of Jalen Duren, get someone else for a discounted rate that can do pretty much the same exact thing. Even probably at a better clip, especially talking about someone like Mitchell Robinson in the playoffs, and then find someone else for Cade. And also, don't bring back Tobias Harris. I don't think we need Uncle T. But that has to be the move. That has to be the way that the Pistons go about this. Because again, it was just the way he disappeared in the playoffs. And it just goes to show, because that's the time where players get exposed. Because I'm watching Game 7 between San Antonio and OKC, and I'm at my buddy's
Different
house, and Luke Cornett gets that chase down block. And I look at him and I'm like, if we were somehow as a league, and I say we, I'm not in the leagues. I don't know why I said we. I have nothing to do with it. But there are more of us than there are of them. If we were somehow able to get this product for, let's just not even say the whole regular season. Let's just say like the race to the playoffs or to get in. If we got that Game 7, the defensive effort, the lack of flopping, if we got that in the regular season and all throughout the postseason, and we didn't just have to wait for a Game 7 to get into the NBA Finals to see like bodies hitting the floor because they're actually hitting the floor, not because they're just throwing themselves off to the side. Like, if we were somehow able to get that, this would be the second best league in the United States. Like, without a doubt, like, people who hate basketball and have hated it for 3 decades would finally start crawling back and be like, this is great. Like, I love this. But we have to wait until Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Why?
Thanks,
LeBron.
LeBron.
I have no idea. But it's a different
Appreciate you,
game.
LeBron.
It is a different game between the regular season and the postseason. And Jalen Duren is not ready to compete in the postseason because he just doesn't have the skill set to be that guy to put you over the top. He's a good player, but you lock him in on a supermax, it's over. Saying.
No, you're not wrong, Fabi. Detroit needs Danhausen. I guess we do. The Spurs have the Nuns though, so I think they're fine. I think they're fine against the Magic. So like they have the
they're
Nuns.
blessed. They're blessed.
So no,
They're
it's again. I didn't think we were getting like all of a sudden like how to change the NBA because I have ideas on that. But you're right though.
Sorry, I went off on a side.
No,
track
I
there for
think it's a
second,
good
but I think
conversation
it's-
because I do have some ideas for it. I've had some ideas for a little bit about it. Look, back to Jalen Duren real quick. If you lock up a guy like him, I think your window of winning decreases exponentially. Gosh, words are hard. But the
Decreases.
window decreases for sure. It starts to close a little bit quicker. Why? Because you put so much money in a guy that doesn't really affect the game. Look, if I'm putting $50 million in a player, he's got to be able to score on all three levels. And I get it, that's like hard to come by and everything, but that's the reality. You have to be able to score the basket. You've got to be able to create for your own self. Why do you think quarterbacks get $50 million? Because they're the most important players on the team and they create everything. Yeah. Why do you think Cade Cunningham's getting $50 million? Because he's the most important player on the team, can create his own shot, knock down threes, not extremely well, but consistently enough, and he can create his own shots and get to the rim. That's the reason for Cade, why he's getting 50. Jalen Duren don't deserve $50 million. No way he deserves $50 million. No, the Spurs are not going to get cursed. No. They have the Nuns. They are okay. The Spurs are going to be all right.
It's the most brilliant, one of the more brilliant front offices in basketball. They'll be all right. They're up there with the Golden State and all those guys. Like they're a different level. They're a different tier.
Did you see what SGA said after the game? He's like, "I will allow the best GM of all time, Sam Presti, figure it out what we need." So apparently they think Sam Presti is the guy. I think Sam Presti is a very good GM, very smart GM.
Yeah.
But when it comes
OKC does it right. People just hate the flopping. That's why everyone hates on OKC. But from an organizational perspective, they
Shea
do
didn't
it
flop a ton in Game 7.
No, he didn't, and that's what I loved. I was like, more of that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about the whole SGA flopping, because I had this. I'm about to probably have the same argument with my friend the other day. You two both praise LeBron, yet SGA's flopping's an issue. LeBron didn't flop all those years, but all of a sudden, because someone else does it, there's an issue. But LeBron's flopping, who is way bigger, way faster, more of a freight train than skinny SGA. Now all of a sudden there's an issue. That I got to question that because I'm confused. You praise LeBron, yet he flops. I wouldn't say as much as SGA. I wouldn't say as exaggerated, but he does exaggerate quite a bit on his flopping. And he's way bigger and way faster than SGA. But all of a sudden, SGA has an issue. There's an issue.
A long time ago, the NBA discovered that there was a benefit to more offense and less of that brutal physicality that we saw in the NBA once upon a time. Like Adam Silver taled about it. There came a point where
worst commissioner in the league or of any league.
I'm just saying. Like when we had Bill Laimbeer, like actually physically punching Larry Bird for just going up for a layup, it's like, okay, now we got to have a conversation about what this looks like, because what Bill Laimbeer is doing in that moment does not take any skill. It doesn't take any ability whatsoever to punch a dude. If Ryan, if you're going up for a layup and I just freaking knee you right in the, know what, like that doesn't take any effort.
No,
so
again,
they had to get away from that.
I wouldn't say. Again, that's not basketball. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when I see what I saw with Caruso and Stephon Castle. It's a hard foul. That's what it is. It's a foul. I don't need flagrant twos for it, ejections. That's what I don't need. But it felt like every time LeBron goes to the cup, you just graze him. Oh, foul. I hate that. Just it's a basket. It doesn't really upset him at all. Just lay the ball up. Let's move on with the game.
But I think the evolution of the game to more of an offensive one and one that favors offense is not exclusive to the NBA. Like, I don't think you can pin that all on one guy. We see the same thing happening in the NFL. You can't touch a quarterback now. Like, Aaron Rodgers, if you give Aaron Rodgers a two-handed shove 2 seconds after he throws the football, that's 15 yards. I mean, like, it is, like, football's become that way. Hockey has become that way. Like, I think the evolution of everything becoming more offensive and also players being more protected, Yeah, but of course, superstars. There's literally a clip of a referee walking up to Michael Jordan and going, "What did you see on that one?" Jordan tells him, he goes, "All right, if you said you saw it, then I believe you. You know, I'll give you the call." Like, superstars have gotten preferential whistles always.
I'm just saying, flopping's all of a sudden an issue with SGA, but LeBron does it.
But I think SGA is the truth.
He's just doing his thing. He's the best of all time. Yay, LeBron.
SGA is the most effective ever at doing it, though. That's what makes SGA, because he's just the best. He's the best. He's figured out how to do it the best, which kind of makes me mad, because there was one shot in that game 7 where like he tried to like curl his body to shoot from like over here. I'm like, you don't shoot from there. Like, you can't lean into contact. But no, he's just better at
the
doing
one
it
with
than
Devin
anybody else.
Vassell. Yeah, but when the defender's up in the air like that, you can do that. That's not just an SGA whistle. That is an everybody whistle. So Will Cheddar get that whistle against Michigan State? No, everyone does it.
Yeah.
I think it's a dumb foul. Don't get me wrong. Even if it benefits my own team, I think it's a stupid foul. But no, you jumping into someone while they're up in the air. That's always been there. But when it comes to
tell you not to leave your feet. But anyways, go ahead.
But when it comes to, why do we have to wait till Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals to see this intensity? Well, the players themselves. Thanks, LeBron. That's another one. No, SGA is 1-0 in the finals. He's 1-1 in the Western Conference Finals. But he's if you want to tell Nate LeBron's 4 out of 10.
He's been to 10 NBA finals in his career.
So then he should have more than 4, right?
Getting to 1 is an accomplishment for some players. I mean, sure.
Did he beat JJ Barea, Jason Terry, and Dirk Nowitzki?
Don't disrespect Dirk. Don't do it.
I'm not disrespecting Dirk. I'm disrespecting the Heat, where you had Chris Bosh, Wade, LeBron, the super team, the best team of all time, and couldn't beat JJ Barea, Jason Terry, and Dirk. Which LeBron put that one on himself because he had a
couldn't
cough.
beat Dirk. They couldn't
pissed
beat
off
Dirk.
the Mavs.
That's it. It got nothing to do with JJ Barea or any of those other. It has everything to do with Dirk Nowitzki. Which, by the way, if we're talking about players that changed the game, Dirk was that guy, because Dirk was the first like real true big man who was face front and like fading away and hitting jumpers. So,
Fabian, 40% win ratio. Let's not forget Nate loves sports where like 30% hit rate is like the best thing of all time, or a 40% win ratio is like he likes failure. He likes failure. He likes the game of failures, and LeBron is one of those failures. What happened to not 5, not 6, not 7? He won 2. He went 2-2, and he lost to JJ Barea and Jason Terry.
Dirk Nowitzki is who he
but
lost.
JJ Barea was the starting point guard. I might as well have been out there.
It was.
But
no, it's the greatest. No, you're right. It's the greatest NBA Finals run of all time. You can't take that away from Dirk. It is
the reason why why we waited that long to get that type of a game in Game 7 was had to have load management. Oh, I don't feel my pinky toe hurts. I'm not gonna play. Which Mitchell Robinson, you should be playing in this finals. You should not be sitting there because you have surgery on your pinky. You don't even shoot the basketball. You just grab rebounds. You're fine. Play tough.
Yeah.
Tell Nate 6-0. Yes, MJ is 6-0. Fabian, you and I like greatness. We like things that are great. We like all that stuff. Nate's a guy who likes. It's okay. It's okay to bowl. It's okay. Out of 1,000 hits, you only get 300. It's okay. It's okay. I always find that stat funny. Like baseball, you praise guys who miss 70% of the time. I think that's funny. That's just a own personal thing. But when it comes to the scheduling and when it comes to the NBA, load management, something that's always got to get brought up. It's simple. Thanks, LeBron. A player-driven league. Thanks, LeBron. These things drive everything. But I think if you were to put simply put, you just did a back-to-back of the same, like baseball. You have a 2-game series. Pistons play the Cavs in Cleveland back-to-back nights. I bet you that second game is similar to what you saw in Game 7. I bet you it's similar. And when I go to LCA to see the number 1 team in the East and the number 1 team in the West play each other, and I have to see Nikola Topic and Aaron Wiggins and who else? Jalen Williams, not the good Jalen Williams, the bad one, play 40-plus minutes in a number 1 versus a number 1 because load management, we got to rest our guys. That's gonna happen. But if let's say the Thunder play the Pistons, at LCA back-to-back nights, I bet you that second game is probably one of the best games of the year because of dude, we lost by 30 to them the night before. We can't have that happen. And everyone will complain, well, you have to have a home and home. I don't care. Who cares? It's the regular season. Then next year they travel to you. Same thing.
Yeah.
But just play a back-to-back the night before or in 2 days. Give them 2 days rest. Like make. We're gonna change the NBA here. So here's what you do. Because you could play 4 games in 7-ish days, right? So they play like a Tuesday, Wednesday. They play a Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they play. Maybe you have to change as a season. Hold on. I'm trying to cook here without actually preparing for this. So maybe what they do is during football season, they do Thursday, Friday, right? Hear me out.
Okay.
Then maybe
all right, I'm tracking.
Then maybe they do Monday, Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe you do. Hold on. I'm trying to cook here. Oh wow. This guy's named Psycho says, now they will say Pulisic is better than Messi and Ronaldo. No, we will not say that.
Hell yeah, he is.
I will say Saka's better than Messi and Ronaldo. I'll tell you that right now. Saying Arsenal hasn't robbed the Premier League this season. We didn't rob the Premier League this season. The West Ham was clearly a foul. But there had no penalties. Maybe we just defend really well. Ever think of that? Now Nate will say Zlatan is better than Messi and Ronaldo. Maybe he'll say that.
Top 2.
But no,
Zlatan
I'm thinking.
And,
all right, here's what.
Pulisic.
Here's my new proposed NBA schedule. Here's what it is. I got it now. So Tuesday, Wednesday, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, you play a back-to-back against some team, and then you then play on the weekends. You just play one game. You play one game because you play 3 games in 7 days. Everyone will have enough rest. Everyone will have this. And then that it's also going to stretch the season a little bit. So you're not competing with the NFL as much. And then you're going to allow all these top players to play in the playoffs and in the finals and not be hurt. Boom. There you go. Because the NBA has an injury issue come playoff time. Boom. There you go. 3 games a week. You have to play a back-to-back on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, you play 1 game. Boom.
And not just that, but you create a consistent schedule that is easy to follow, which means that recovery and all the other processes that go into building up to a game, but also everything in between, are now taken care of. Even if they don't, let's say they play reduced minutes in the back half of that back-to-back that they have, that's fine. But also by shortening the season, I think what people fail to realize about that in the NBA is that every game all of a sudden becomes more important, far more important. Because if you have 6.5, 7.5, 8 game lead on the team behind you, there's no need to really go rock and roll, floor, gas pedal to the floor. You don't need to do that. And that's, I entirely think you're correct. It's just too damn long, and there's too many games packed into such a short amount of time that, there's really no need. Once you get to that point, yes, I don't think we're ever going to replace tanking. I really don't. There are just certain teams that we know going into the year are not going to win an NBA championship. So it's what happens? Do you strike gold and then you execute something at the trade deadline, or I don't know. But that is if we can actually find a way to give them designated rest during these stretches, I think that would be a huge.
I searched up. It's the average games played per week in the NBA. They say 3 to 4. They said sometimes 5 can play during a week. But I think if you were to just stick with 3 the whole way, again, you can eliminate the All-Star break. I could care less about the All-Star break. That don't matter.
Right.
But, and then I would just get rid of the in-season tournament. It's stupid. Just get rid of that. But just play 3 games a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, because then you're not competing with Thursday night or Monday night football. Because it's so funny, man. when teams are scheduling stuff, like you're like, okay, when's the NFL? When's the NFL? Because we can't have our best in the NFL. Like talking with with college coaches, the last two I've talked with Jamie Clark of Washington, and then Weiss from or Weiss, I don't know how to say his name, from Georgetown. They all
Brian Weiss. Yes.
Weiss.
Yeah,
Both
from Georgetown. Yep.
Like it'll be great to have our championship, in the spring when we're not competing with football, because around December, what's everyone thinking about? College football playoff, NFL playoffs. They're not thinking about what's college soccer coming to. No, they're going to have that on the other side. So, boom. That's how I figure it out. So, like, it's so funny that now the NBA, you got to think, all right, how do we not interrupt with the NFL schedule? So, we know they have Thursdays locked in, Mondays, and Sundays. Okay, Saturdays, college football. So, play one game, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, play that one game. Doesn't really matter to me. You can still get your nationally televised games, whatever. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, that's your day. Tuesday, Wednesday is the NBA day, and you get to play those back-to-backs. And I will bet you any money that if they were to have a back-to-back against the same team, that second game, I wouldn't say it would be the same level of intensity, the same level of play that we saw in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, but it's going to be much better than Game 1. It's gonna be respectable, is what I would say. You won't see the flopping. You keep the same ref crew. Just keep the same ref crew. Make it consistent enough, and then by Game 2, SGA is not flopping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at us.
No, it just give me, and I said just a semblance of that, semblance of that more consistently, and all these other discussions are completely by the wayside. Let's take a break. When we come back here on Inside the Game, we'll wrap up our hour number 2 conversation and get into question of the day. Let's talk about the Knicks and the Spurs on the other side. You're on Inside the Game.
Experience the thrill of the game like never before with NSN's Cam Rewind. Dive into full match commentaries enhanced with cutting-edge dynamic graphics, letting you relive the highs and lows of your favorite matches in astonishing detail. Whether it's a championship win or a legendary play, NSN Cam Rewind bridges the past and future with a broadcast experience designed to captivate. Call 586-304-4405 and start watching today. Experience the thrill of the game like never before with NSN's Cam Rewind. Dive into full match commentaries enhanced with cutting-edge dynamic graphics, letting you relive the highs and lows of your favorite matches in astonishing detail. Whether it's a championship win or a legendary play, NSN Cam Rewind bridges the past and future with a broadcast experience designed to captivate. Call 586-304-4405 and start watching today.
Can I just say something that I really love? Welcome back in, by the way, Inside the Game, episode 296. I think the nonchalant era in sports is over. Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Oh, you're talking about Wemby?
Wembanyama. Yeah, we got Wemby freaking out, and then we got him bringing the trophy over to all the fans, which, by the way, I've never seen that before in the NBA. That's why I asked you, like, if there's ever been, like, a soccer club that's done that with, like, their supporters, like, let them touch the trophy, because...
See, the issue with it, because if you watch the Wemby thing, again, Wemby has a grip on the trophy. He's also 7'6", so it's easy for him
to do. It did look like one person kind of like pulled on it a little bit.
That's the issue, because I know
Yeah.
Vermont Green, that's the only one I can think of, is Vermont Green did it. It has happened. The issue is, does someone just run off with the trophy? That's the scary part.
Yeah.
That's the scary part about this whole situation is,
Yeah.
does someone just go out there and rip the trophy away? That's something that you have to think about. I was also thinking about this. So I mentioned it yesterday in the was it in the watch party yesterday? And some people were kind of on board with it. I was thinking of doing some Mexico, England watch parties where because again, I'm going to watch the games. But I'm thinking, I'm like,
Yeah, of course.
I'm thinking if I just do a hate watch instead, what could happen? So I have to figure that out over the next coming Thursday next week. Would probably be able to do it because it's the first game. We don't really have games on Thursdays. Again, you might not be able to do it because of baseball. But 3:00 kick, first game of the World Cup. I mean, just saying, might be able to do some hate watches. Let's see, England again. Why do they not have the days of the
What
week?
time is the game?
3:00
the
on
game?
Thursday next week. Because don't you have
Oh no,
baseball?
I can do it. No, they're on the road. So
Oh,
I got Union
okay.
FC Macomb.
Well,
at noon,
looks like
but
we
I'll
got to
be
tell
available
John. We are doing a hate
But-
watch for Mexico to start open
Can I
the
come
World
down
Cup.
to the studio and do my game there?
You have
It's
a
at
game
noon.
on Thursday?
Yeah. Well, crap. We got our podcast. Okay. Can I come down to the studio and do our show and the game, and then do the watch party with you?
I have no idea. That's a John
Right.
question. I'd be down for it. That's a John question.
Okay.
So,
All right.
all right, we got some
Thought you were
questions
the
for
new
John.
sheriff in
We'll see.
town.
We'll see if John's
All
gonna
right.
tell us to GTFO or yes. Oh,
Get out of my office. Okay. Sorry.
So Sam and I got a joke. So at the end of the broadcast, I was like, right before I get done, I was like, Sam, you can now get out of here. And then thanks for watching. And he goes, I know what you meant there. I know what you meant. I was like, attaboy, Sam, attaboy.
Sammy. He's a great camera
Um,
operator. I love having Sam. But no, that'd be fun.
This is
I'm
a
all
great
for it.
comment before we get into the Knicks Spurs from Sham, or Sham. Again, I don't know about with the NBA guy, but it's spelled the same. It's fine to lose UCL for underdogs, but it's not okay to fail the coming transfer windows. 100% agree with you, Sham,
Yeah.
Sham, or Sham. I would agree with you, my
Sham.
friend. You have
Sham
to,
Sharani.
you've got to win this transfer window. It's like, God, when your teams are good, you've got like the most important off seasons. It's like it's a never ending stress, man. Sometimes I wish our
Yeah.
teams were just garbage again, so I had like no care in the world when it came with my teams. Yeah. Oh yeah, we suck. Oh my God, how did that? It's like the Tigers right now. I'm completely like I walk off. I'm like, that just happened. How did that happen?
It's getting brutal out here. But anyways, yeah, Knicks and Spurs. Listen, man, I don't agree.
They don't play till
with the
Wednesday.
sentiment.
Oh, come on.
I know, which is weird. There's no way you think that the Knicks have no chance of
I
winning
don't think
this.
I don't think they
series.
have a chance. I mean, obviously they have a chance technically, but I don't see. I just see the Spurs winning. That's all I see. I think the Spurs will win in 6. I think the Spurs
If
win
their
in 6.
3-point shooting keeps up the way that it did in the OKC series, this is one that could be easily won by San Antonio. I agree. And the reality is that Wemby is only playing 30 minutes a night. However, what he does in those 30 minutes, again, being at 7-3 and having a step back 3-point shot, I mean,
stupid.
you can't defend that. That's dumb. And we saw that against OKC, and he was the ultimate equalizer. So the biggest question in my mind is, who does New York have to take on Wemby? I think Cat has the skill set to do it. I just think that this is a very versatile San Antonio team. The only thing, though, that I will say I do think New York has going for them is obviously Jalen Brunson. Cat's been playing at an unbelievable level. When he just decides to be a big man, he can bully Wemby physically. Lengthwise, obviously, that one is going to go to Victor Wembanyama. But New York is going to be on a different level for this series. You know, can this young San Antonio team, and I know they handled OKC, all right, I get it, because OKC, in terms of, in Oklahoma, you have two things, right? You have Oklahoma Sooners football, and you got
Boomer.
OKC basketball. That's all those people have,
Real quick,
right? So, like, they...
When
Go ahead.
when Kyle Whittingham was the race marshal yesterday, and it was on Fox, they're like, big noon kickoff, Michigan, Oklahoma at noon. I'm like, bro, it's May, man. We're advertising this already.
Yeah, exactly. But that's that's what it is in Oklahoma, especially in that part of Oklahoma. I know they were able to handle that. I just think they got ridiculously hot the other day, and that's a good thing to be, especially in a Game 7. But can they handle that environment in New York? Because this is still a young team, which I think adds to how impressive it was that they were able to come back and win those consecutive games to beat OKC. But obviously, Wemby's going to have to be special. They're going to have to throw different defensive packages at San Antonio. I don't think this is a one-size-fits-all. It's not just a man-drop coverage look that you run against San Antonio, because you can't, because they're just too good. But you talk about equalizers. You got Wemby on one side, but you also have New York on the other side, that is going to be a monster test for a young team.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's going to be a tough environment. It's going to be a good series. But when you're able to bring dudes like Dylan Harper and Keldon Johnson and Luke Cornett off the bench, what do the Knicks have off the bench? Landry Shamet? Mitchell Robinson? Like, their starting five is as good as any starting five in the league. But and they're like, well, they've been well rested. They also might be rusty. They haven't played in like 2 weeks. But I look at the Thunder, or I look at the Spurs, and I just think they're just gonna come at you in waves. It's like Michigan basketball. Oh, Yaxel's having an off night. All of a sudden, you got Adai Mara going off, and then all of a sudden you got Roddy Gale throwing for like 30 points. Like, they just come at you in waves. And with the Spurs, like, for the most part, it's going to be a Wemby night. But if Wemby's having an off night, all of a sudden Stephon Castle's going off. De'Aaron Fox is going off. Maybe Dylan Harper's having a night. Like, they just come at you in waves. And when you have a guy in Champagny who's making $3 million on your starting five a year is crazy to me. Like, they just have shooters as well. Devin Vassell, another guy that they can plug and play. Like, they have got a roster, man. And I'm not saying Harrison Barnes is like this crazy guy or all of a sudden, but like, hey, he's still a vet to be on the team. They have vets on this team. Biombo, another guy that they've really credited to everything. Luke Cornett, another 7-footer off the bench. Like, this team is just so good. And I am just expecting, again, I think it's going to be the starting five is going to be really good for the Knicks, and I think it's going to go to 6. But I just think the amount of games they're going to play and just the amount of everything and the amount of players they're going to throw at you, I just think the Spurs are going to be too much to handle, man. I just think so.
Yeah, I mean, so going
Maybe
back
I
to
should
the
do
NBA
a New York
Cup
Knicks
game, which
hate watch. John, can I do that too? Just a hate watch to sit here and just
they
hate watch
did hold
everything?
Spurs. They did hold the Spurs to 89 points back in March, and obviously they've
played,
shown
though?
that they can do so.
Because March don't matter to me. Matters in the playoffs.
I get it. I think everybody played. But this is all I'll say, and I'll leave it on this. As it pertains to this conversation around New York and San Antonio, I think everything that decides this series, really, in my personal opinion, comes down to a couple of different matchups. But I do think the Stephon Castle and Jalen Brunson one is going to be really important. And just how suffocating is San Antonio's defense going to be in this series is really, I think, the biggest talking point of all of it. But I'm just saying, New York is going to be rocking. I know we got to get to question of the day here. We're running low on time a little bit, but yeah, I'm just ready to see the entire city of New York burn down if they end up winning the whole thing, because it's over. It's over.
It's just when it comes to the Spurs, they can run 10 deep. The Knicks are really realistically probably looking at 7 deep, maybe. And with Mitchell Robinson's health questionable, I don't know. But I just I don't know. I just think the Spurs
That is
are
a big
just-
hit. Yeah,
they're
that is
just too
a
good.
big hit.
And
Yeah, Josh Hart's been on fire though. So like it's all
but we
about
don't
who
know.
gets
They
hot.
might be rusty in game 1. Like everyone can
Yeah,
talk about
that's true.
everyone can talk about rest being a benefit. I look at the Detroit Tigers, 2012. They swept. Everyone's like, this is
Yeah.
so good. We got our guys rested. Look at the Lions against the Commanders. We got our guys rested. We're good to go.
Mhm.
And then the 1 seed loses. And then we get swept by the San Francisco Giants because they were playing.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, rest can also be a negative thing. And I think
Yeah.
in game 1, maybe they're rusty. And everyone's like, they just swept
Mhm.
everyone. They're going to be good to go. The Thunder swept
Yeah.
their first 2 series and lost in 7. So I think the Spurs are going to win. I think they're going to win. I'm going to go 6. I'm going to win in 6 to make the Knicks fans a little bit happier with me. Because, man, they are. I'm going to have to
Knicks
go
in
Sports
7,
Nation.
and then the bomb goes off.
I'm going to have
Knicks
to
in
go.
7, and then
I'm
the
going to
bomb
have to
goes
go
off.
Sports Nation, TikTok Live, just Knicks hate watch, and just let everything just, man. I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to do that in my own house. Just
Let's
be sitting there.
let's get into
Sitting there. Knicks suck. Knicks suck. Give me Wemby.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not even the biggest fan of Wemby, to be honest with you. So there you go.
You just be hating. That's all. Let's get into
Fabian,
question of the
Knicks
day.
in 7. Hell no. When was the last time a New York team won a championship? The Giants or the Yankees?
Did the Rangers win one?
Oh, maybe they did.
Hold on.
Maybe the Rangers do have a Stanley Cup.
Win.
I forget they have like 10 million teams in New York.
Championship. Hold on.
If Knicks win, Ryan eats White Castle? No, not eating White Castle. It's trash.
Oh wait, New York City Football Club won the MLS Cup in 2021.
Oh, great. Great. Yeah.
Woo!
NYCFC. I'm sure a lot of people were waiting to get in that championship
Yeah.
parade for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, question of the
Let's
day.
get the-
Brought to you by Salt Athletic, official sponsor of us here at the National Soccer Network. Use promo code NSN15 to save 15% off that #1 smell-proof cleat bag. That 100% works. Scan the QR code on your screen or visit saltathletic.com today. But question of the day, will the Thunder and Spurs be a rivalry for the next decade?
Yes. And for 2 players specifically, Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. And that's going to be the face of the rivalry.
Chet got put in a body bag.
because he did. And I think I don't know. I think it's going to lead to a lot of interesting matchups. Obviously, they've talked about each other, but we've seen this in interviews. You know, like Chet doesn't say Victor's name. Victor hates Chet from losing to him in the U19s when he was playing for France and Chet was playing for USA, and Chet got MVP. And now Victor Wembanyama has to turn around in 2026 and watch SGA win MVP again. He's sitting on the bench behind him and ends up going out and winning it. That's what I meant when like the nonchalant era is over, because Wemby isn't just playing because he just wants to win. No, he's playing because he wants to destroy everything that Chet Holmgren is and has ever loved in his life. Like he is going like scorched earth on the NBA.
Probably
He's like,
hates
I'm
Curry
done.
too.
Like he's like, I'm the best player in the world, and I'm gonna show everybody in the world exactly what I am in this playoffs. You know, F Chet, F that city. You know, everybody that wants to or has said anything about me, it's over. And like more specifically, Oklahoma City, because no one gave them even so much as a fight last year. You know, and that is the organization that, to be fair, no one really likes. And so I think for the most part, people are going to jump on the Victor Wembanyama bandwagon when it comes to that. Now, obviously, I talked about I want to see New York win it just for the madness and the chaos of all of it. But no, Wemby v. Chet is I mean, if Chet can have a really good year next year and maybe we see him meet up in the playoffs again, you know it's going to be the biggest storyline of the playoffs. Nothing's going to compare to those two next year.
I also think when it comes to Chet Holmgren, he's got to be pissed off about what he saw or what he did in this last playoffs. So I mean,
Yep.
he looked horrible. 2 field goal attempts? Are you kidding me? 2 field goal attempts in a game as an all-star? That's crazy to me. Pistons
Reminds
need
me of Clay going 0 for once upon a time.
Pistons need Brunson. Yeah, okay. No. And Giannis. Yeah, no. Giannis needs to stay away from this team as much as possible. Yeah, let's just add another $50 million guy to a guy who can't hit a consistent jump shot. Yeah, let's do that yet again. No, that's a horrible idea. No, I'm excited though for the rivalry because I think it is going to be a rivalry. I'm excited because it's going to be competitive games once again. Yeah, no, like we've already seen it. If what we saw here today is just a taste of what can happen, I'm excited.
Yeah, it is. I think it's going to look like the old, Spurs Lakers and some of those great rivalries in the West. I think it's going to be kind of the rebirth of that, which I'm happy to see it. And I knew that there was some sort of, I don't know if I would say like beef, but like bad blood, I guess, between Chet and Victor. I didn't know it went this far. And so to that, I think it just creates more fun, more excitement for everybody. But anyways, that'll wrap up episode number 296. To all the people in the comment sections, anybody else that follows us on social media, we appreciate all you so much. World Cup coming up. We're going to keep talking about the U.S. men's national team. A lot coming up tomorrow. And until we talk to you guys for 297, I'm Nate. That's Ryan. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning here on Inside the Game.